Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Online. If you haven't already, check us out, www.bwtmonline.com. If you haven't checked us out on Instagram, BWTM Online. Check us out on Twitter, Bayloric World TV, and on Facebook, again, BWTM Online or BWTM. Thank you for watching. Okay, we're going to get into this one. Terence Crawford against Amir Khan. Then I spoke about this fight before, but it's a fun fight. April 20th, with a fun fight between Amir Khan and Terence Crawford. Top rank pay-per-view for the World Welterweight Championship. Crawford making the defense of his WBO title against former world champion Amir Khan. Anytime you talk about Amir Khan in a big fight, the first thing Khan supporters do is talk about his speed. He's fast. He's quick. That's a given. Khan on his day, with his hand speed, can put together blurring punches. And when he actually hits the target and he's punching, he can let off 4 or 5 punches. And in certain sequences, he can look like a world-class fighter. I say this because if you look at Khan closely when he's throwing his punches, a lot of his flurries are wasted energy. A lot of his punches are caught in the arms and the gloves. Guys are rolling and getting out of the way of those punches. If you look at someone like Sugar Ray Leonard or Roy Jones Jr., with their speed, or even Floyd Mayweather with his speed, the ability to hit and not get hit, the ability to land good combinations. With Mayweather, the best in the business when it comes to throwing a straight right hand. They throw it down a pipe and be out of there. That's speed for me. You know, it's get in, throw a shot, get out. Consistently. Speed. Sugar Ray Robinson was always my favorite fighter of all time. He could hit you with combinations off the back foot. He can hit you with combinations on the front foot. Khan wastes a lot of his punches. Now, this isn't a video where I'm here to slam Amir Khan. Khan has got balls of steel. He'll get in there and fight anybody in the world. We've seen that. We don't even have to judge or question Khan's resume. The reason why I think this fight is happening is because he couldn't, in my personal opinion, if you're going to get beat by Crawford or you're going to get beat by Brook, you'd rather get beat by Crawford. And there's more to gain. You beat Crawford, you become a pound for pound fighter. The other thing, and you reestablish yourself as a top welterweight. The other thing is, you also become a world champion. With Kell Brook, well, what do you get? You beat Kell Brook, so what? You don't become a world champion. It doesn't get you any further in your career. So I get that. I get that. But you meant you get beat by Kell Brook. Well, that's a whole different matter altogether. So I get that too as well. So I understand that point. But let's get back to this fight with Khan. Khan fans, anytime you try and question Khan's fans, they'll tell you, well, look at the Marcos Maidana fight. Yeah, the Marcos Maidana fight was a long time ago. Since then, Khan has been knocked out by Canelo. But he was winning the fight against Canelo. Well, there's a difference between winning a fight and a fighter taking time to time you. That punch was always going to find Khan's chin. Always. Canelo is he's a patient fighter. Canelo's not one of these guys who'll try and rush and get you out the first round unless he sees an opportunity. And for the most part, because of Khan's hand speed, he was like an annoying fly. But then Khan allows you to time him. The Garcia fight, the Prescott fight, Samuel Vargas, Diaz, Gomez, Willie Limond. Khan fights in a very predictable pattern. So when you're saying he fights with speed, that's great. But boxing IQ, Khan is low in. Bags of heart, but low in boxing IQ. And let me explain something to you. What I mean by boxing IQ, because I like to break things down and then explain to you what I mean by boxing IQ. Khan's the type of guy, and I'm not making this up. If you hurt Khan, he shows it. The second thing Khan does is, if you hurt him, he calls you on to him. That doesn't make any sense. That's what I mean by low boxing IQ. Instead of you grab and hold and forget about your pride and look to clear your head and work your way back into a fight, no. Khan shows his hurt and then calls the opponent onto him. Go back and look at the Samuel Vargas fight. Khan can tell you all he wants about, oh, well, I'll be up for a better opponent. Yeah, he might well be up for a better opponent, and he might well train harder. But there's some things in a pattern in a fighter or an athlete that don't change. And these things won't change about Khan. When he gets hit, he's going to show you how he's going to show you he's hurt. And the other thing about Amir Khan is when he's hurt, and for the most part, he's going to either try and trade with you, but he won't hold that much. He hasn't learned his lesson. Go back and look at the Samuel Vargas fight. That was the last fight he had. And Khan gets timed easily. Now, Khan's fighting a guy against Crawford, who's not only got speed and power, he's got position and a great boxing brain. For those of you out there who believe that Khan would beat Crawford, are you the same people that believe Crawford would beat Spence? I'm not quite sure. If Samuel Vargas is dropping you, and I think Canelo's skilled, but he's not as highly skilled as Crawford. I'm not saying Crawford beats Canelo, but in terms of skill set, I think Crawford is a far higher skill set fighter than Canelo. Oh, but Khan's going to be big for the fight. It doesn't matter how big Khan is. Doesn't matter how big he is. It's his chin. So he will come out as he does in every single fight. Yeah, but what about the Devin Alexander fight? Devin Alexander can't punch. Crawford can punch. He can box. He is a supreme fighter, and I'm not quite sure why Khan fans believe anytime Khan's in a ring, oh, speed. He's speed. What about his vulnerabilities? The reason why people find Khan, it's a fun fight, and people enjoy Khan is because of his low IQ. His low IQ. Oh, he comes to fight. Yeah, he comes to fight. But there's no point coming to fight with two guns and you know, or you know, AK-47, and then knowing how to shoot straight. It don't make no sense. And this is with Khan. This is with Khan. He has not learned boxing fundamentals. He's not learned that when you get hit in a fight, to tie up. He's not learned how to fight on the inside. He's not learned how to stop moving in predictable, from side to side, moving predictably. He's not learned how to have a poker face when he's hurt. He's not learned how to hold and stop being macho and tie up in a fight. He hasn't learned these things. So he keeps making the same mistakes over and over again. Go back and watch the Danny Garcia fight. Go back and watch the Canelo fight. Go back and watch the Diaz fight. Khan's movements are predictable, and he gets knocked out the same way over and over again. And Crawford is a ruthless finisher. And based on what happened with Samuel Vargas and Khan's vulnerability, to me, this fight could finish real early. It could finish real early because the way you neutralize speed is timing. And Crawford has got tremendous timing versus Khan's speed. Khan isn't about, but fundamentally, Khan's not a better boxer than Crawford. Khan, it doesn't hit harder than Crawford. Khan doesn't move as well as Crawford. So it's timing versus speed. So he may be moving around the ring and Crawford will just out of nowhere spring a right hand or a left hand and Khan's in trouble. And when Khan gets in trouble, Crawford won't let him off the hook. And the thing about Crawford is he's accurate with his shots. Very, very accurate puncher, Terence Crawford. I've been watching Terence Crawford fight, and I was the first person in the UK to talk about Crawford before Spencer Ferron. Before, I was the first guy to talk to Crawford. Way before he became world champion. Go back and check this channel out when we spoke to him. I spoke to Crawford after he fought Prescott, and then I spoke to him again just before he fought Ricky Burns. The guy has got boxing knowledge beyond belief. Terence Crawford is the real deal, believe me. The one thing about Crawford, though, that Khan may have a chance in, and this is where I think Khan may have a chance. If he can get to Crawford and he can hit Crawford and hurt Crawford, that's if he can. Does he hit hard enough? And what's Crawford's chin like? We saw the Gamboa fight. He got buzzed in the Gamboa fight. But Jeff Horn, the great Jeff Horn, wasn't able to put a dent in Crawford. So, I don't know. For me, it's a dangerous fight for Khan. A very, very, very dangerous fight for Amir Khan. Because now he's fighting a guy who is got timing and can punch and is a bit of boxing in him. A brave fight, yes. But I see nothing but pain for Amir Khan. I am sorry. Now, if Khan is able to box smart, which he has never, I mean, yeah, he fought against Alexander, that fight. That's probably his most perfect fight. Probably his most perfect fight. Maybe the Barrera fight. Khan fights well against guys that are slow and that can't punch. He's very good against guys like that. He can overwhelm them. But once a guy has got some metal in their hands, there's trouble. Because you're always wondering, can he? Is he gonna? And you watch Khan in patterns. Another pattern Khan has: the first 3 rounds of a Khan fight, they'll come flying out the blocks. First 3 rounds, and then as the rounds go on, his hands start to drop. His hands start to drop. His chin is stuck up in the air even more. And he can't, up to this day, he still doesn't know what to do when his back is against the ropes. When a fighter backs Khan up against the ropes, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how to fight with his back against the ropes. So these are all areas where Crawford will study and then pick Khan apart. And it will be brutal. It will be fun while it lasts. But unfortunately, the fun is based on Khan's deficiencies rather than his abilities. His hand speed will be null and void because of Crawford's timing. So every time Khan may set out to throw a combination, there's always a chance when Khan reaches out to throw a punch, he could be end up being counter-punched. It's the best pure boxer Khan has fought in his career that can match him for hand speed, that can match him and overpower him, that's got better footwork than him, and is all round a technically better fighter. Speed won't be a problem for Crawford. And remember, Crawford came from the lightweight division as well. And Khan's had a lot of fights now. And you have to think to yourself, from the Canelo fight to this fight now, you know, he didn't look great against Vargas. When people make the excuse and say, "Ah, well, he wasn't up for the Vargas fight." Okay. So, was he up for the Canelo fight? Was he up for the Garcia fight? Was he up for the Prescott fight? So, yeah, people always making excuses for Khan. Just see the fighter for what he is. He's exciting because of his vulnerabilities and because of his low boxing IQ. You can't knock Khan for his determination and his balls and his will to win and take on the best. And that he must be commended for. And one other thing I have to mention here. People say about Khan sticking to a game plan. When in his career has he stuck to a game plan? Oh, but the Alexander fight. Well, Alexander can't quite punch. And I thought that Alexander was going to get him out of there, but Alexander looked dreadful that fight. Dreadful. But then Khan looked good that fight. Another fight that Khan actually looked pretty impressive in was against Luis Collazo. I thought he looked very impressive in that fight. I thought he looked really good in that fight against Collazo. Bearing in mind what Collazo was doing to Keith Thurman, he looked good in that fight. So I've got to give him that fight as well. All right. Again, don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave your comments as always. Let me hear what people are saying. I think that Khan may get some success early, but ultimately he'll get stopped mid to late rounds, probably end up getting trapped against the ropes and caught with a big shot. I think he gets caught center of the ring, actually. But we'll see. I agree. But Khan deserves credit. Hard sport. They both deserve as much spaghetti and silk pajamas as they earn. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice, Anthony Joshua on cut. But I've got a word to say to you. I don't know. I'm not quite sure where you've come from or your who you are, because obviously you're not saying who you are. But I do want to say this. I'm one of the biggest advocates for fighters getting paid their worth. But one thing you'll understand on BWTM online, we don't over glorify fighters, and we don't undercut fighters. All we do is just call it for what we see as. And Khan is a good fighter. Never said he wasn't a good fighter. World champion, twice a world champion over. But you have to call a fighter for what it is, not how we'd like it to be. And how I see this, it's not good for Amir Khan. Yeah, he definitely has got the Dillian White mold. He'll fight anyone. Yeah, he will fight anyone. But I think, again, Amir Khan, in my opinion, was badly managed. Just my personal opinion. Yeah, fair enough. And I agree. Khan is good, but not great. I think Khan could have been great if he was carefully managed. If Khan was carefully managed, the reason why he's never in a boring fight is because of his low boxing IQ. The same reason why you like to watch Khan is the same reason why he gets knocked out. Low boxing IQ. Khan's, again, go back and look at the Samuel Vargas fight. Khan doesn't fight with common sense. He fights with no sense whatsoever. Example, Samuel Vargas fight. Samuel Vargas drops him, tags him, hurts him. So instead of you tying your fighter up, you're calling the fighter on to punish you even further. He's great to watch, again, because, like I'm repeating myself, because of his low boxing IQ. But yeah, thank you all so much for listening. I appreciate you all. Again, don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave your comments. Boxing is about opinions, of course. So we'll see. April the 20th. Can Khan be great? Only a matter of time. Thanks again for watching.